Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be the Combat Series episode number 136 for you guys today. And to kick off the Combat Series, we'll start in the sport of MMA inside of the UFC world. And I'll be sharing my UFC 324 main event prediction between Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. Now, in the new era for the UFC on the Paramount Plus card, Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett will fight each other in the main event of UFC 324 for the interim lightweight championship. We all know what's going on behind the scenes outside the octagon with champion Ilia Topuria. He's dealing with some family issues, trying to get his children intact. So I hope everything plays out well for him. But Ilia Topuria is away, and we will have a new interim lightweight champion crowned by the end of UFC 324. It'll be Justin Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett. But the storylines heading into the main event of UFC 324. Is this the end of the line for Justin Gaethje? Now, Justin Gaethje, guys, he's 37 years of age. And he's even threatened, over the last couple months, he's even threatened to retire from the UFC if he is not in world title contention, fighting for a world title. And now, in this scenario, Ilia Topuria is away, like I just said. And Dana White and the rest of the UFC executives thought it would be appropriate to have an interim lightweight championship opportunity for Justin Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett. So Justin Gaethje is back in world title contention, but I have a feeling if he loses this fight, guys, this could be it, because the only thing that's escaped Justin Gaethje's UFC career is being a world champion. Now, if you guys remember, years ago at the lightweight division, he was the interim lightweight champion, but he never was the official world champion, a lightweight world champion in the UFC in his UFC career. And you got to put Justin Gaethje in the conversation. If he doesn't get it done here or never becomes a world champion, you have to put him in the conversation with a fighter like Dustin Poirier, one of the greatest UFC fighters to never win a UFC world title. So this is everything for Justin Gaethje here to get this victory against Paddy Pimblett, because the winner of this fight will be fighting Ilia Topuria next for a lightweight championship opportunity. So everything's on the line. All the marbles are on the line for Justin Gaethje here in his late 30s. Only really wanting to fight and have that desire to step in the octagon for a world title opportunity. It all starts Saturday for him if he's going to get that opportunity to defeat Paddy Pimblett. And the final storyline is Paddy Pimblett ready for the biggest fight of his MMA career? Now, Paddy Pimblett, ever since joining the UFC years ago, he has been picture perfect, 7-0. And I think Dana White and the rest of the UFC executives have actually built up Paddy Pimblett perfectly since joining the UFC, because he's been well-groomed fighting fighters in their late 30s like Tony Ferguson, King Green, and Michael Chandler, and he's defeated all those guys. Now he's in the position to become interim lightweight champion if he can defeat Justin Gaethje this weekend and punch his ticket to a future world title opportunity down the line in 2026 against Ilia Topuria. So enough of the storylines. Let's get to the tail of the tape here. Starting off with Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett, guys, he's 23-3 in his MMA career. 23 wins, 3 losses, 7 victories come away of knockout, 10 submission victories. Currently the 5th ranked contender at the lightweight division today. Stands at 5'10" with a reach of 73 inches. Then I'm looking at the veteran Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje has 26 victories, 5 losses in his MMA career. 20 victories come away of knockout, 1 submission victory, and currently the 4th ranked contender at the lightweight division. Stands at 5'11" with a reach of 70 inches. So the height goes in favor of Paddy Pimblett. The height goes in favor of Justin Gaethje, but the reach goes in favor of Paddy Pimblett. So let's see if the height and the reach can play a factor when these two fighters fight each other in the octagon Saturday night. But let's get into the game plans. These are the following game plans I do believe that these fighters should follow if they want to walk out of the T-Mobile Arena with the interim lightweight championship. Starting off with the veteran here, Justin Gaethje. I think Justin Gaethje's got to be alert defensively. I think Justin Gaethje, a clear path to victory. He has to be alert defensively, avoid the big significant strikes that Paddy Pimblett could hurt him with in this fight, because we've seen Justin Gaethje hurt and stunned with some big strikes. He's been in there with some of the top names that the UFC lightweight division has ever seen. Khabib, Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, you name it. Well, Max Holloway, not really a lightweight, but he's still one of the best significant strikers of all time in the UFC. You name it. He's been around the block and fought a lot of great fighters. But I think he has to be alert defensively, avoid the big strikes that Paddy Pimblett can put on him in the octagon. I think his takedown defense has to be stellar. He has to be ready to stuff the takedowns, because I think Paddy Pimblett might tap into that grappling background in this fight against Justin Gaethje. And he does have 10 submission victories in his MMA career. So I definitely think the wrestling could play a factor if you're Paddy Pimblett in this fight. So I can see him trying to slow down Justin Gaethje, try to take him to the ground. So be alert defensively to avoid the big strikes and to avoid the takedowns that Paddy Pimblett might try to land on you if you're Justin Gaethje heading in this fight. Next, Justin Gaethje has to fight well on the inside. If Justin Gaethje can fight well on the inside, he could have a clear path to victory here. Because Justin Gaethje is a powerful fighter that can fight well on the inside, land the 1-2 combinations, the dangerous right hand, mixing the body shots with his hands, or some body kicks that could slow down Paddy Pimblett, especially if a leg kick lands to the liver, to the body area. That could really slow down Paddy Pimblett offensively. He won't be able to move around the octagon very swiftly. And I think he should also aim to win the counter-punching battle against Paddy Pimblett in the octagon. And last but not least, fight in the clinch. Now, I honestly think, watching Justin Gaethje over the years and just watching the film over him the last couple days, I honestly think Justin Gaethje is really good at fighting in the clinch. And I think with Justin Gaethje's style, his relentless offensive style, that might be able to help him fighting in the clinch against Paddy Pimblett, who could be very aggressive when these two fighters fight each other in the octagon. Aim to land in the clinch. That could open the door for Justin Gaethje to land the dangerous strikes, slip in some uppercuts, even some elbow strikes to slow down Paddy Pimblett or hurt him, and land the knockdown in the octagon. So those are the following game plans I have for Justin Gaethje. Now, as for Paddy Pimblett, I think Paddy Pimblett has to land the significant strikes. Now, that's going to be his one of the key ingredients to him winning, and I think the bread and butter is going to be landing the significant strikes, because Justin Gaethje has been around the block. He's seen it all and seen a lot of different styles. But Paddy Pimblett is a fighter that possesses a lot of power at lightweight, and he lands 60% of his significant strikes thrown in fights. So if Paddy Pimblett can land the significant strikes, I think that should mix into one of the game plans for Paddy Pimblett to blitz Justin Gaethje. If you blitz Justin Gaethje, land combinations, this could help Paddy Pimblett, because in the past we've seen Justin Gaethje blitzed and hurt with significant strikes in the past against fighters like Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira, Khabib. I think that could be a strong key ingredient to success if you're Paddy Pimblett, to blitz and land the significant strikes at will against Justin Gaethje. Next, Paddy Pimblett, he needs to be alert defensively. If he could be alert defensively, that could play a big factor for him possibly winning this fight. And in his last performance against Michael Chandler, I think that was a really good performance, don't get me wrong. But Michael Chandler did take down Paddy Pimblett at least 3 times or more when Paddy Pimblett was last in the octagon. So I think he has to avoid the takedowns that Justin Gaethje can land, because I think Justin Gaethje overall is a better wrestler and a better grappler than what Michael Chandler is. And he's at this point of their careers, he's a much better fighter than what Michael Chandler is also. So I think he has to avoid the relentless offense that Justin Gaethje could bring to him. Like I just said a few moments ago, that relentless offense that Justin Gaethje possesses is one of the reasons why he's one of the best lightweights that we've seen over the last few years in the UFC. So he has to stuff the takedowns, avoid the big shots. And last but not least, I think Paddy Pimblett should actually try to out-wrestle Justin Gaethje here. He's the younger fighter. Probably will have less wear and tear on his body when these two fighters fighting in the octagon, depending on how the camps went. But I think Paddy Pimblett should land the takedowns against the veteran fighter in Justin Gaethje. You've seen Justin Gaethje outclassed by good grapplers in the past. And Paddy Pimblett can land takedowns. And I think him having a 6-year age gap, because Paddy's 31 and Justin's 37, that 6-year age gap, Paddy could be the more energized fighter with less wear and tear on his body. So if you're landing the takedowns on a veteran fighter in Justin Gaethje, who doesn't have much mileage left in the gas tank, you could wear him down landing the takedowns. This could open the door for opportunities for Paddy Pimblett to gain ground control, have control time, shoot for takedowns, and land the significant strikes on top. And that's how he got Michael Chandler out of there. In his previous performance, he got on top of Michael Chandler, had ground control, was smothering him on the ground, landing some significant strikes, busted up Michael Chandler, got the stoppage knockout victory in his last performance. So I think that could go a long way if you're Paddy Pimblett. But This is going to be something that I feel like this performance for either fighter is going to be something that we remember for most of the 2026. But with that being said, I'm going with Paddy Pimblett to defeat Justin Gaethje by stoppage. I think Paddy Pimblett will either win the fight by knockout or submission within the first 2 to 3 rounds in the main event of UFC 324 this weekend. Now, guys, Paddy Pimblett is going to win this fight within the first 2 to 3 rounds. I believe if he could be alert defensively, avoid the big shots and the fast-paced offensive style that Justin Gaethje might throw at him early on in the first round, if he could weather the storm, avoid the big strikes, and avoid danger, he could be in the driver's seat to win this fight against Justin Gaethje, because he has to be able to match Justin Gaethje's fast-paced offense in that octagon. And I think Paddy Pimblett will blitz Justin Gaethje a lot. I think if he could start off fast, land significant strikes, because Paddy Pimblett lands 60% of his significant strikes that are thrown. If he can land the significant strikes, blitz Justin Gaethje, throwing a high, fast-paced style at Justin Gaethje in this fight, this could go in the favor of Paddy Pimblett. And I think Paddy Pimblett should also tap into that wrestling style, that grappling background of his, because he has 10 submission victories in his MMA career. I think he should land the takedowns on a older version of Justin Gaethje, try to wear him down, landing the takedowns. That could go into the advantage of Paddy Pimblett, gaining control time, being comfortable on top, landing significant strikes, and trying to hurt Justin Gaethje, because that's a similar way of how Paddy Pimblett put away Michael Chandler in his latest performance. Was on top, smothering Michael Chandler, getting the control time in his favor, and landing significant strikes on Michael Chandler and land a knockout victory. I think we could see something similar here with Paddy Pimblett controlling the control time on the ground against Justin Gaethje, landing the significant strikes, trying to shoot for some submissions to wear down Justin Gaethje. I think Paddy Pimblett's going to send a message to the entire lightweight division, get a stoppage within the first 2 to 3 rounds, either knockout or submission, to become the new interim champion, and then we get that big money fight at lightweight between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria. But give me Paddy Pimblett to defeat Justin Gaethje in the main event of UFC 324 to become the new interim lightweight champion.